The color, natural linen. The company, Benjamin Moore. This, of course, is Hue Review, so let's review. I'm James from the Paint People. This is the premier color review show when it comes to paint colors from all the major paint companies. I'm gonna review them all. Just gonna take me a while, but bear with me. Subscribe to see if I actually do it. The way that I like to review paint colors is off of my personal experience, using them, observing them, seeing other people use them, give you my thoughts on their overall vibe, their versatility, and then I'll give you my verdict and tell you whether I would use this color, and if so, how. I've also listened to your guys' feedback in the comment section below. I've been reading it, I've been perusing it. I'm also going to give you two other colors that aren't necessarily color pairings, they're just lighter and darker alternatives. So you'll have an off-white and a mid-tone color that has a very similar vibe to natural linen, which of course is the color we're talking about today. So right before we dive into this Benjamin Moore color, here are some alternatives in other paint companies. So if you're not a fan of Benjamin Moore for whatever reason, or you're just not using it, or you're more comfortable with Sherwin-Williams or Deluxe or Valspar, they're not spot-on matches. If you want a spot-on match, you got to just get natural linen and Benjamin Moore paint. Or do a really close custom match at your local paint store, but who knows what that'll turn out to be, right? Okay, perfect. So, vibe. What is the vibe? That's a V, not a 2, by the way. What's natural linen all about, guys? You might as well call this color neutral linen, because this is a very neutral, passive feeling color. And neutrals can go in a number of different ways in terms of depth and color temperature. Natural linen really has this lovely passive warmth to it. It's kind of this sandy beige color. It has enough warmth without feeling too goldeny or orangey. It's a nice, balanced, settled feeling warm neutral that has maybe a little bit of gray, but not too much where you would call it a grayish or a gray beige. It just has a very settled, subtle, sandy beige quality that I think is really pleasant. It suits traditional design styles, I feel, really well. More rustic or farmhouse aesthetics, coastal, even something like Scandi if you don't want to go with an off-white or a stark white. This is going to be one of those colors that feels really nice and familiar and cozy and kind of minimal, but still has coloration to it. In terms of the amount of coloration, or the depth to be specific, natural linen has nearly a 60 LRV. And this is good news, because I think a 60 LRV paint color on the interior side of things especially, that's good. That's a happy medium of not too light where you won't notice it at all. It'll just sort of seem like an off-white or a primer, but also not too dark where it's going to close in a lot of spaces and make them feel a bit too unlit, if that makes sense. This is one of those colors that really functions similarly to an off-white, where there's not a lot of color that is going to pull you into different directions and feel a bit polarizing. It has a very settled feeling to it. Some say it's a bit boring, bit of a builder's beige, perhaps. I could see this being a landlord's favorite color to use, because it can hide imperfections and smudges, because it's not white, but it's also just, easy breezy. Okay, so that's the vibe. Basically neutral, right? What's the versatility aspect here, inside and outside? So on the inside, interior-wise, I would put natural linen at a high versatility. I think there is so many design styles and use cases for natural linen as a wall color specifically. It really is just a mega flexible, interchangeable color. I did call it builder's beige disparagingly, and also as a big plus for it because of the fact that you can just throw it pretty much anywhere and it's going to look fine. It may not have a wow factor going on, but it's going to suit limitless amount of spaces. And you could also technically have this as a trim or a door color if you have maybe much lighter walls like an off-white, and then you kind of have that sort of yin-yang effect where it's not white trim, it's this trim, and then you have white walls instead. Just an idea. On the exterior side of things, I would put natural linen at a mid versatility. I think when you're using this color outside, it's good because it has a decent amount of depth, so it will help accentuate itself outside. It's not too light where it'll just completely wash out when it's illuminated by the sun, but it's also not quite as rich as I like sometimes when I'm painting colors outside, especially like the main body of a home. This is not going to be a great front door color, not by a long shot. I think I would see it possibly on the main body, but also as like a sort of mid-tony, lighter trim color for a much darker main body color. I think that could work as well. All right, so I'm going to give you my verdict. What do I actually think about this color? But before I do, I got an important message for you. Today's sponsor is us. ThePaintPeople.com is your go-to destination for quality paint and paint supplies. We're more than just a paint store. We are your partner in bringing color to life. Whether you're a do-it-yourself enthusiast or a professional painter, we have everything you need to make your project a success. One of our standout features is our ability to create any color from all major paint brands. And the best part, we deliver across the US and Canada. Our commitment to fast shipping ensures that your order will reach you promptly so you can start your project without unnecessary waiting. Visit our website today and discover a world of colors, quality, and convenience. And as a thank you for supporting us on YouTube, use coupon code JAMES5 for 5% off your order. Back to the regularly scheduled content. Okay, so verdict. What do I really think about this color? And then afterwards, I'll give you those two other colors that go with it. First of all, how would I see natural linen used? If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do so. But the way we like to organize colors palette-wise is on a pyramid. So the palette pyramid starts with a main color up top, which is kind of the go-to color. Your support colors right below that, which are more secondary, so trim colors or maybe slightly darker neutral colors. And then your finishing colors are along the bottom where you have your accent colors, your fun colors, things to spice your place up. Natural linen is absolutely a main color. So this is going right to the top of this palette pyramid. It's not necessarily going to be the best choice for everyone because some people will maybe opt for something a little bit lighter to reflect a little more light back into their space. But I still think that 60-ish LRV mark is pretty good. It's pretty good in a lot of cases, especially if you do want something that isn't white or an off-white. It has a little bit of richness to it, so it'll contrast with your white baseboards, for example. Natural linen just is very, very usable. I think that could be boring, that could be banal, uninspiring. But that being said, boring might be okay if it's just the filler between the exciting rooms that you get to spice things up in. Could I see myself using a color like natural linen in my home? I actually could. Now, again, not a super fun color, but for the parts of my home that I do want a little warmer, neutral backdrop, and then I can have the actual furniture and the accessories and the decor really pop out, especially like plant life looks really good against this color, then I think this could absolutely be a good choice, similar to when I used plaster of Paris in my entire condo before. Similar sort of vibe, those colors, which is good. Would I be excited to use it? No. But you know what? It's utilitarian. It's good. I'll leave you with two colors as well. So a lighter variation and maybe a slightly darker variation. White Dove would be a pretty solid off-white choice to go with natural linen. And then if you wanted something a little bit darker, Bennington Gray could be an option for you. It's another warm neutral. It is a mid-tone, so it's a little bit darker, a little more saturated. And I also feel like it has a bit more of that gold aspect. So it just sort of takes it away from more of a beigey quality to a more tan, gold-leaning neutral. But very similar family of colors. So that's a review. Let me know if you want me to do a full palette pyramid for natural linen at the end of this week in the comment section below. Let me know, please. And then we have another video right over here for you.